Governor, can you talk about the whole Dorothy Brown situation? Are you surprised that she had a role in one of these firms that was, or organizations that was getting NRI money?
I would say yes, I am surprised. I don't know all the details, but we're going to take a whole look at the grants that were given to this organization. All grantees have to be accountable, and we expect them to do that. If they don't, there will be consequences. And as a matter of fact, the bill that's already passed the House that I support and I pushed forward in the House, and now it's in the Senate, will provide more oversight over these grant organizations, these grantees. They need to understand that if they get any penny of public money, they've got to be accountable and properly handle it.
Is it proper that Benton Cook would have had a role as a program coordinator for Chicago area capital, and then also be overseeing a nonprofit of his that was getting money?
Well, that's obviously a conflict that needs to be reviewed and looked into. I think it's important that we have a total review of whatever went on there.
Governor, last week you made yourself available to several Chicago television outlets, and you had said that NRI money hadn't gone out till a substantial amount of time after the election, but it was only 3 days.
That's not true at all. Look at the comptroller's records. It was, I think it's November 18th that the first checks were sent out. That's well after the election. And the great majority of the resources were not sent out until months after the election. This was designed to fight violence, and it was well intended. It's important that we have an effort in Illinois to deal with severe violence in some of the neighborhoods of our city and our state. So I think it's important to make sure that all of that is done properly.
You think you were vulnerable on this, Governor, because of you rolled it out, and there's all, the timing of it all came right before the campaign and all that. Do you anticipate that there is going to be, an effort to try to tie all this to you personally?
Well, I believe in fighting violence. I know the program began after I went to Roseland, a neighborhood in the south side of Chicago, where Robert Freeman Jr., age 13, was shot 22 times on his bicycle. He mowed lawns, he played basketball, he helped people in the neighborhood. He was shot dead. I thought that there were many other children who were being shot that summer of 2010. We had to do something about it, and I think it's important that we protect our children and everyone, and that's the purpose of this program. Now, when it wasn't going in the right direction, when it wasn't doing what we wanted it to do, I shut it down completely and stopped it cold. And I think that's what anybody in public office has to do. If there's something that isn't going in the right direction, you have to take action. That's the test of character. I didn't sweep anything under the rug. I acted on behalf of the public and shut the program down.
When did you learn about Benton Cook and Dorothy Brown's involvement in this?
Reading the paper. I had no idea that either of those people were involved with that particular organization. And we have to look into it, all of us do, to make sure that there was nothing wrong going on. And I think that's why the bill that we hope to get passed into law that provides oversight over all of these organizations that get state grants. Oversight completely. It needs to make sure there's no conflicts of interest, that there are provisions with respect to where the money goes that are carefully adhered to. We need to have a standard in Illinois similar to what the federal government has, and that's what this bill that passed the House, and we want it to pass the Senate so I can sign it into law. I'm supporting this bill. I work with Fred Crespo, Representative Crespo, to get this passed to really tighten up oversight on all state grants.
So when this program was being put together in October of 2010, there was a lot of involvement from your office. I mean, your deputy chief of staff was involved, for example. I mean, shouldn't people within your administration have flagged the fact that, Benton Cook or Dorothy Brown or Will Davis's wife had some involvement in this?
Well, the organizations that received grants, that particular organization on the west side of Chicago has been around for 80 years. I think the chairperson of the organization is someone who served as a U.S. attorney once upon a time. So any group that receives public money has to be accountable with respect to anything they did with the money. If it wasn't proper or right, they have to be held accountable, and if there's anything wrong, we have to get to the bottom of it. And that's exactly why I shut this program down. I felt that it was not going in the right direction.
Your reaction to Senator Bergman's request for subpoena powers to investigate?
Well, politics as usual. It's a political time of year. We shut the program down. That's the bottom line. We did it 2 years ago. And I think that's really what you have to do anytime you're in public or private life. If a particular operation is not going in the right direction, the proper thing to do is to act. Shut it down, stop it cold, don't sweep anything under the rug, don't run away. I never run away. I always do what's right for the public.
Have your campaign records or personal records been subpoenaed or
No.
anything like that? You
Nothing
don't
at
feel
all.
that you're vulnerable?
No, there are grantees that receive state grants. There are questions about it, and I think that all these questions need to be answered. All information needs to be looked into. My job as governor is to make sure that if anything is not going in the right direction, step in, stop the program, do the right thing, clean it up. That's what I did.
I mean, after the program was abolished, though, I mean, anti-violence spending was still, the pipeline was still open to many of these same organizations, including Chicago Area Project. I mean, can you really truthfully say you shut down the conduit to those agencies?
The Illinois Violence Prevention Authority was abolished. That's what I ordered, and it was ended. With respect to the criminal justice agency that's in existence and has been for some time, they have a very rigorous approach, and any group that goes before them that in any way has questions to answer, I think they should answer.
When is this
Any other
internal
issues
review?
before we move on to the back to the office?
When is the
Any other
internal
issues
review
with
that
the-
you've launched?
We just
and begun
commenced
with?
it. I mean, I saw some things over the weekend that certainly were troublesome. And we're going to look into all the grants that particular group got. But I think it's important to remember we need to pass a law in Illinois that gives us stronger powers of oversight over all of these grantee organizations, wherever they may be in our whole state. That's what Representative Crespo's bill does. It's about grant accountability. It has passed the House at my behest. We're going to fight hard to get it past the Senate. I'm ready to sign it into law. I think that certainly is something that is an important mission.
Can you think of any